Hello. One thing you learn pretty quickly, or sometimes not so quickly if you're stubborn like me, in the art of facilitating healing in yourself and others, is that if you're not willing to give up what's making you ill, what's making you sick, be it mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, then there's not much anyone can do for you. And this was highlighted to me again today, not necessarily by a client, but by my three beautiful sprogs, who are often my best teachers. And so I just came back from picking them up from school. I'm in my favourite spot, well, one of my favourite spots. And so, I haven't seen them all day, thought I'd have a nice little chat with them. And no, head down, phone. And so we get home, and I say to my son, do you fancy going for a walk? You look a little bit stressed out, you look a little bit frazzled after a whole day sitting in classrooms and stuff. It's a beautiful afternoon. Let's go for a stroll up the lanes, let's breathe in some fresh air. Let's make the most of when it's dry, so you're not getting sopping wet. No, I want to lie on my bed and stare at my phone. And in the past, there was a part of me that used to get, I suppose, quite angry at that, because, I could see him creating a level of suffering, or sitting in suffering, not knowing he was suffering, and basically numbing his suffering out with mental distraction, which is what a lot of kids are doing at the moment. So then I thought, well, if he doesn't want to come for a walk with me, then what about my eldest daughter, Lucia, who is really going through it at the moment as a teenager. And no, she didn't want to come either. She was straightening her hair after coming back from school. And so finally I go downstairs, where my youngest daughter, who has a little bit more diligence and is a bit more kind of disciplined than the other two, who's at the kitchen table doing her homework. And I said, Gabrielle, do you want to come for a walk with me? She said, oh no, I've got too many exams, I've got tests next week, I've got this, I've got so much revision to do, I'm really stressed out. Ooh! And I thought, well, maybe a walk could help clear your head a little bit, help you gain some perspective and take you out of this mental stress zone. No. So I had 3 refusals from my children to come for a walk, which I know deep down would have helped clear their minds and clear their energy fields a little bit. And after a day in these what are fast becoming really rancid institutions, more prisons really, that they don't really enjoy going to, but the expectations that not only the system and the teachers that are around them place on the kids, but also the expectations that the children place on themselves. And I feel that again comes through various manipulative propaganda through social media, big corporate competitive nonsense, is really, again, is beginning to kill the souls of our children and the spirit of what it really means to be a grounded human being on this planet right now. And it's difficult as a parent to reconcile wanting your kids to, fulfill potential, do their best, but also seeing that sometimes it's all a bit too much for them, but they don't actually realise it, and they go into these kind of distractive techniques of again, mental masturbation, to kind of soothe. So yeah, it's quite hard. I'm finding it quite difficult with 3 teenagers at the moment, because they're all very different. They all have their different needs, and as much as I want to give them as much rope and freedom to be who they need to be, I'm feeling that the developing society around us isn't doing that for them and isn't encouraging them to tap into their more innate creative potentials. And as much as I try and help them and facilitate that process, I feel I'm fighting a losing battle at the moment, which, again, when I say do not be defeated, I am not defeated, but sometimes you've got to accept where you are with things. And it's easy for people to say, yeah, well, kids are like that, they'll grow out of it. But, well, do they? Or do we just grow into adults with the same habits? And unless we're actually prepared to do the healing, unless we're actually prepared to take a long look at how we distract ourselves on a daily basis with lots of nonsensical things, how we seem to get drawn into activities which, although might seem purposeful, really aren't, the sooner we'll maybe realise a little bit that we're heading down a spiral path of destruction right now. But those are just my views, okay? Most people say, "Oh, shut up, Rich." Look at the world, look at the technology, look how amazing the standard of living is on this planet at the moment, and yeah, standards of living have improved. I suppose lifespans to some extent have improved, but has the soul of humanity really grown? And that's something that I question in myself, in my inner being, daily at times. And obviously I want my children, because I love them very much, to have a balanced and interesting and fulfilling life without being conditioned too much. It took me well over 40 years of my life, and I'm still doing the work now, to unravel the cages of conditioning that are placed on us from birth, to try and bring out as much of our innate gifts, creativity and soul as possible. And sometimes it's really hard work, because it's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And I guess we all make our choices though, right? And when we make choices, we have to live by them. And whether your choices are in a minority or in a majority, we still have to live by the cause and effect cycles that are created from the choices that we make. So I really feel right now like I'm swimming against the tide, which doesn't feel good for me, because normally I like to be in the flow, but right now I feel like I'm not in the flow, and I'm really trying to contemplate why I'm feeling that. And I guess it's because when I feel I'm in the flow, I feel I'm in my soul, right? And what I am feeling right now is that my soul is sad. It's sad because of everything that's going on around me at the moment in the world, in my children, and in just kind of these times that we're living at the moment. But at some level, and I haven't got the highest perspective, obviously, no one has, only God has. In some way, I know that we're all kind of part of this creation, and things are perfect at some level. At some level, everything's perfect, right? Might not feel so perfect to you if there's dissonance and disharmony, but at some level there is balance. The Tao is always balanced, and maybe we are reaping some karma at the moment, which is balancing something from the past that we're not fully consciously aware of. So yeah, we make our choices, and I've chosen to go for a walk and make a little video and get some fresh air, and I feel that's a good choice, because that's a choice for my soul. It makes me feel more in the flow. My kids have chosen to make a different choice, and when I get home, unfortunately I will have to reap the consequences of their choices, because they'll all be grumpy and probably fighting with each other. So but that's what being a parent's about. You know, it is. Sometimes I've just wanted to run away. I really have. I've just wanted to go. That's it. I give up. I'm not doing this. You're just not vibrating at my level. it's just like the resonance is not matching. But as a parent, it's not about that. It's not about running away from your obligations and responsibilities. As a parent, it's about learning to come to terms with it and accept it and try and be as comfortable and serene within the process as possible. More often than not, that doesn't work. But we have to learn to be in hell with serenity, okay? But conversely, and occasionally, it's worth being in heaven and bringing some hell to it, because you know, a lot of people do get stuck in their bliss, get very attached to their kind of their flow, their way of being, which again is just an attachment. And I feel, yes, you can live on one or either side of the pendulum, but ultimately it's about balancing the both. And yeah, right now the pendulum's swinging really freaking hard. So anyway, yes, going back to my younger daughter, you know, she does place a lot of high expectations on herself, which is great, you know, great to the extent that she is aspiring, but not so great when she gets stressed because she's not quite hitting her own targets. And I've been trying to teach her a little bit to be a bit more realistic and understand that the only person judging her is her. There might be other people outside of her judging her, because we're all arseholes, aren't we, to each other at times. We all like to judge each other and say, oh, yeah, look at you, you're not quite an expert in that, or you haven't quite freaking got that yet, have you? And you're not good enough because you're you know, you haven't got that so quickly, or look at him or her, they're better than you. A lot of competition, a lot of ego, a lot of shit, yeah. And I'm trying to encourage my kids just to be happy and comfortable in their own skin where they are, because I love them dearly. You know, whether they pass their exams or not, it's not that I don't care, but I love them just the same. You know, it's a strange life out there, and sometimes failure, utter miserable failure, and challenge can actually propel you into who you really are. So if you're hearing this and you're placing some expectations on yourself which you're struggling with, or someone's placing expectations on you which you're struggling with, it's okay to do a reset. It's okay to give up what's hurting you, what's causing you trauma, what's causing you pain. Yeah, you have to give up what's preventing you from healing first before you can take the medicine. Yeah, there's no point just piling medicine over something that you're going to keep doing. So dig deep, and if you want some facilitation and some help using shamanism, shamanic healing, then get in touch and see what work we can do together. There we are. See you next time.